Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. This is the choose a main video for 2XKO. So in this video, I'm going to be going over all the characters currently in the closed beta. And keep in mind, this is the closed beta video. This will eventually come out for real at some point anyways. And when it does, I'm sure it's going to have even more characters yet. And I'll probably remake this video in some way, shape, or form. But for now, in the closed beta, these are our 9 characters. And in this video, I'm going to be highlighting every character, what they're all about, what you should be looking for, and maybe why you should be playing them. So a few things to note. Once again, this is closed beta. Things are subject to change. Many of these characters, even from the last time I played these characters, a lot of things have changed. So I don't consider anything in this video very permanent. Also, I'll be giving you just some highlights, how difficult I think a character is. I don't necessarily agree with all the in-game difficulty, easy use things, so just keep that in mind. But let's start at the start here. Normally, I always start with the closest character to Ryu, because that's sort of Mr. Fighting Games. And let's talk about Darius, because he's the closest thing to Ryu. And to quickly note right before we get into it, this video was created in partnership with Riot Games.
Fall in! For Noxus!
So here we are starting with Darius. You think maybe I would start with like Jinx or Vi or, one of the more faces of the game. But Darius is the most traditional fighting game character of everybody. Why? Well, in strict fighting game terms, he's got the fireball and he's got the uppercut, if you will. It's the 2XKO versions of it, but he has that stuff. Like, we're talking straight up Terry Bogard, y'all. Yes, I am comparing Terry Bogard to Darius, so that's just how this is gonna be. He kind of does everything in the game very proficiently. Like, when it comes to normals, he actually has some of the best normals in the game. His range, just on his basic stuff, no special moves, no nothing, is among the best in the game. He actually will outrange the majority of the cast on just the basics. So that always leads to a fundamentally sound character when you know you can mostly outrange character on a lot of basic things. And I talked about this here. So this uppercut, this move, this is down forward and special 2. So this move is, as far as I can tell, frame 1 armored. This is the only move like it in the game with these current characters, in that it's a meterless reversal. You spend no resources, no super meter, no nothing, no extenuating circumstances. It just is on-demand defense in a big knock-up, which is extra good because if you get it, you are getting more hits, by the way. This will hurt bad. So between that, the fireball, which is certainly not best in class, I just mentioned it, just part of the kit, and the fact that he has outstanding normal moves, it's really good. Also, for fans of Street Fighter, he has the closest thing this game has to crouch, medium, kick, fireball. So just so you know. So once again here, he's just really good at everything. He's got good normals, he's got good specials. So one of the things that's unique for him is he has a mechanic called Wound. So multiple moves do this. You see here, Ahri here has got kind of a nasty blood effect. We won't call it blood because it might put up the SRB rating, right? But it's a red particle effect, and that's not good. But it's good for you as Darius and for your team. So this is a game with chip damage. So special moves, as you can see here, will do a little bit of chip. Not a lot, but, a little bit of chip damage. That's okay. Kind of fighting game 101. But the thing is here, if wound's applied, and some moves can apply wound on block, by the way, it makes every move do chip damage. Notice here my basic light, medium, heavy string is now dealing recoverable health as damage. And of course, my special moves will still deal chip on top of that, right? So now all of a sudden, if you're fighting against Darius and he has a wound applied, no matter what he's doing, he's winning. Every move is going to do more and more and more damage. So when you're up against Darius and he has wound up, there's a little bit of an inevitability of his offense. You are still losing if you're blocking. And this being a very team-centric game, certain team-ups can really multiply this effect. This buff applies for you and your partner, not just you. So whatever they're planning, it can work out pretty okay. So someone like Illaoi with her tentacle super, you can see here, I took almost half your life in chip. They blocked all those attacks, but they're just taking so much chip from these wounds. So that can make this stuff really scary. Now, keeping with his all-rounder status, like we talked about the normals, we talked about specials, one thing he has is called Apprehend. So Apprehend is a move that just brings you in. Like, even if you block the move, you're still coming in. And what makes this really strong is the fact that he has 3 follow-ups. So he can go light, and it's a bit of a headbutt. And this headbutt, by the way, is an overhead. This can be a big deal, because in situations where your partner is already on screen, you can, like, tag out while the overhead's going and then fake them out and go low or something like that. Now, the tagged out Darius doesn't keep the overhead property. The overhead or low only matters for the tagged in character, but still it can like force people to just rely on like autopilot, right? The medium option applies the wound and it leaves you barely negative at all. Like, so you can just apply the wound and then all of a sudden they got to deal with that debuff and they take all that chip damage. So it's really strong in and of itself, right? So this wound, you know, this is going to lead to some passivity. If Darius is doing this to you, you cannot hit buttons. You have nothing that's actually fast enough to stop him. And if it actually connects, then it will just be a combo. The only way out is to do something invincible, which, you know, carries some inherent risk in and of itself, right? So, that said, you're probably just going to sit and block for most part. But then here's the heavy option. The heavy option is an honest-to-God command grab. So it's not one of the more damaging. He's not Blitzcrank or Braum or anything like that, right? But if you're passive, and if you're just waiting for that headbutt or slash to come your way and just block it, if you're too passive, you get grabbed on the heavy version, you get dunked. And this is where, you may hear along the way, Darius is the dunk master. He has some of the best off-the-ground offense in the game. Because if he dunks you, he can scoop you up mad easy. Either off like a level 1 super, his level 3 also is a natural OTG, which makes this a very, very terrifying option. Because now all of a sudden that command grab is doing like almost half your life. And he just has so much like strong off the ground options. Like his fireball will scoop you off the ground and knock you up. His jumping S2, which is a big old swing, right? That also will OTG. So if it hits, you can do it, and then you can cancel that into a super, which will also double loop. Like, so he's excellent at just scooping people off the ground in whatever situation that may happen in. And one of those is just off the Apprehend command grab. Also, this is an air OK move. And that move is excellent for his combo structure because it can pop up in the air and you can land and then kind of re-slam him back down to the ground. So it lets him get a lot of just heavy into heavy attacks. So it makes his basic damage structure really good because it's an easy rejuggle. Hey, speaking of easy rejuggles, down S1 is just the dunk. So he'll just bring you down to the ground and slam you. Like, it doesn't matter how you get there. Like, once again, we can do some basic combo structure and then we'll just dunk you down to the ground, right? So combo ability for him is mostly easy and very free form thanks to a lot of these moves. And keeping with the range, we have the S2 move. So just stand S2. Look at that. Like, we talked about, like, stand heavy is already better than most characters. Like, he's almost like halfway like a limb zoner. He's almost halfway to this game's Dalsum, just on like the range he has with that axe. And the thing is, moves like that have great follow-ups. So S2 by itself just has another chop follow-up and it has a sweet spot. So if you're close, you get the damage, which is great. If you're a little further out at the tip of the axe, it applies the wound effect. You can see that blood right there, right? Not blood, ESRB, red juice effect. And also it'll tumble the enemy as well, which makes this really terrifying near the corner, because if this hits, that means we're getting actually guaranteed follow-ups in the corner, right? So that's really strong. And from S2, we also have forward S2, and he'll go thin their ranks, and then it's just a big old leaping attack, which will knock them down. And once again, that knockdown, OTG okay. So you can just scoop them off the ground, keep your offense going. Also, we have forward S2. So it's another big range move, and he'll just leap forward. Like, everything this guy does has just tons of range, right? So that's great in and of itself. And it also has the same follow-up. So I can do S2 follow-up with that same move, or forward S2 follow-up for that same move. And again, this is another great combo move, because if I'm close enough, I can do this. You notice how it doesn't make them leave the ground, right? So I can do this, and if I'm close enough, I can get another medium into heavy afterwards, and then just do whatever combo I want to do, right? So there's a lot of utility here. And just keeping with that all-rounder stuff, once again, we mentioned here, it has like kind of like a big sweep, right? Down forward heavy, just once again, more range, actual low. Must be blocked low, which is just really good. It's just really good. There's no other way to put it. Just really strong. And then we have down forward medium, which is an honest to God overhead. It's not, ain't fastest in class, ain't best in class, right? But what it is just a quick overhead, and you can call an assist afterwards, and that will be a combo if you caught him sleeping. It's really that simple. Depending on the character and the assist, like, hey, maybe you don't get the world off this, but yeah, you get something. You'll make him feel it. Like, it'll sting for an overhead, right? So I just want to stress, like, he basically has every tool you could want. He is Mr. All-Rounder. And just to mention here, the supers close out here. So this bad boy switches sides, but it's always off the ground, always hit. His big long-range super will always apply wound, the debuff. Like, there's no sweet spot needed. It just always applies wound, so it's always very valuable in that way. It's also generally your go-to if you manage to armor through something with your reversal, and just leaves you in a pretty good spot, all things considered. And for his assists, his neutral assist is a shoulder charge. It's a move actually he doesn't really have. He used to have, but he doesn't have anymore. And it's just a big old wall bounce. So, like, that's actually very valuable for combos, because like, you'll figure out a way to juggle with wall bounce. And his back assist is the apprehend move. So it'll just bring them in. And it's solid because, you know, if it hits, great. Like, it'll extend your combo. You can just keep going, sure. And if it's blocked, then it'll still pull them in on block. So you can just kind of keep your offense going. So, you know, very workmanlike, but very serviceable, right? And that's sort of Darius 101. He just sort of works. He's maybe not the best in any one category, other than chip damage, where he definitely is the best. But he can do pretty much everything the game asks from you. Now, let's talk Jinx. So, probably a lot of y'all are interested in Jinx and Vi, and we'll get to both of them, don't worry. So, Jinx is playful, crazy Jinx, less so kind-hearted Jinx from Arcane. And she's the game's zoner. She's got hell of guns, hell of rockets, we got lasers. We got just about everything under the sun when it comes to projectiles. Now, this game being this game, you can't win purely off keep away zoning. Like, it can be good, but it's not going to be the only thing you're going to do. That said, though, she definitely has the best projectiles in the game, especially here, just Space Rocket. As of this current build, this is the only honest-to-God, no qualifications projectile in the game. Everything else has something against it. This is the only one, just goes full screen, no issue. Also, knocks back on hit, which is really good, because she can turn any shot into conversion thanks to her full screen beam super to make any random hit hurt real bad. But yeah, she also has some pretty decent normals. Her stand heavy has some pretty respectable range to it, which is really good because it'll always combo into chain gun regardless of distance, and chain gun will always combo into rocket regardless of distance. And by the way, if we have our unique laser charged up, that also combos into the rocket from any distance. So her ability to get some like range damage on is pretty alright, all things said, you know. She doesn't necessarily need like to be point blank to get the traditional launcher to get her damage in. So she can fight at the range of her more effective moves, and it'll work out very well. And I guess let's talk about it. So chain gun does not quite go full screen, nor should it, because it's really strong. But yeah, you can do this, and if it connects in any way, shape, or form, you get a rocket at minimum, and then if you get a rocket at minimum, if you have zap up, you'll get a beam, right? You're going to get your damage in. And that's the S1 button. If you do back S1, you have basically a preventative anti-air move. And ideally, this will help stop people from jumping because it has just a very aggressive arc to stop that. Also, just like the grounded version, the anti-air version will always cancel into rocket. So you can hold the rocket and just get the shot in. And by the way, rocket is holdable, so you can delay it as well from the base shot. The holdable projectile does just a little bit more damage, and it travels faster. So zoning, rockets, chain gun. By the way, just for a classic fighting game trick, if you do air rocket like right before you hit the ground, it basically cancels all recovery. So you can just kind of do it and then do something else. Although keep in mind, you're only allowed one rocket on screen at once. So if you do this and try to land to another rocket, you have to wait for the first rocket to leave the screen. But you can go in the chain gun, you can go in any normals, so you can keep like the threat matrix going. So all that sounds good, right? Okay, so lots of explosive guns, all that. That's only part of it, though, because part of the whole suite of zoning and guns and all that is screen control. So she can set up a bunch of garbage on the screen. How about Chompers and how about our Monkey Pal? So these will be on screen and both are very active. And if you do this correctly, when you're hitting your opponent, you know, you knock them down, you start setting up shop. So now you got to worry about this. And by the way, notice that, right? Your stuff interacts with each other. So if I set up Chompers, like it'll just bounce around. And if it hits the enemy, great. When it hits the enemy, it puts them in like a capture state and you can get a combo afterwards. And even if it's blocked, they'll still attach and explode. So it'll hold them in place for a little bit. And this is really nice where like Jinx has some built-in mix-up, like she has an overhead, which is really strong. And while it's on screen, you can smack it around. There's a lot of ways to do it. Like you can just give it a little love tap and knock it forward. You can give it the home run swing and really send it flying. Everything will interact with it. Like you can chain gun it and send it across the screen. Like everything you do will work with it. And fun bonus, much the same for your partner. The partner can interact with it just like you can, right? So once it's on screen, either one of your characters can just manipulate it across the screen. And then we have our monkey. So monkey's the same here. It'll just slowly go across the screen and eventually explode and will hit the enemy and leave them in a combo okay state. So that's really strong. You can also manipulate the monkey's angle by doing down S1. So you can have it lower to the ground or higher in the air if they're jumping, trying to avoid, you know, your various projectiles and annoying moves. And just like Chompers, you're going to slam it and send it on its way. And basically anything you do will interact with it in that way. But the bonus for the monkey is any electricity-based move will turbocharge it. So like for her, like standing medium's the easiest one. And when it turbocharges, it creates a different hit effect. Normally it explodes, which it is great in and of itself, don't get me wrong. But when it's turbocharged, it creates this electricity state which holds them in place for way longer. And you can kind of just set up anything you want to do. You don't got to stress, like, hope you're there in time. They'll be held in place. You can almost assuredly, even from full screen, just run in and get a combo from there. Like, you're good to go. So, once again, just to really get it settled in here, we got all sorts of rockets. We got chain guns. We got big hammers. And we also have our limited resource shocker attack, which is very strong, like insanely strong. So she's got a lot working for us, what I'm trying to say. And that's not all. That's not all. Let's do some of the funner stuff here. We got, for Street Fighter fans, we got Akuma Demon Flip. She's rocket jumping. So, you know, and for Team Fortress fans, although real Team Fortress fans know it's about conch jumping, not about rocket jumping. But anyways, I digress. So she'll shoot down to the ground and this rocket jump herself, and she will be air okay afterwards. And what's really good about this, besides, you know, it's good on its face already, right? But what's really good about this is it will off the ground opponent. So like that overhead we mentioned will splat them on the ground. And this will combo right there. So if I do this, I can rocket jump and follow up. And if I can rocket jump and follow up, how about I chain gun you in the air and air beam you, right? Like I can get some pretty okay damage off the overhead because this will scoop up everything. And that's just off the overhead. Any situation they're on the ground, no matter what, the rocket jump will pick them up. So that's really good. Also, rocket jump works in the air. Although in this context, it's basically just an air fireball, just like the other air fireball. But still, regardless. So yeah, she has a really complete package when it comes to just annoying the enemy, which is very Jinx. I think you would agree. Her supers, we talked about the beam super. This just gets anyone anywhere on screen. It doesn't do the most damage of supers, but you can convert this off everything. It's one of the most useful supers in the game. She has her rocket super, so this will be a rocket that explodes in the air, and if it misses, just fireworks go off and it'll create a little bit of a hit. It's very easy though in combos to set up where it'll hit directly above you, the rocket will, and then, well, the magic happens. And you can see here, I left them juggle in such a way the rocket hits on the way up, and then they get hit. And the thing is, they're recovering in the air, right? You don't get necessarily any follow-ups, but when that's happening, then all of a sudden, hey, once again, let's set up shop. You're looking for opportunities for like a moment's rest, where you can set up monkey, where you can set up choppers, and then just make your screen presence way more annoying. And then, of course, we have the level 3. Just to mention, it's kind of the same idea as the level 1, except the projectile hits from the top down rather than down upwards. So you can actually get it in certain situations you can't get the level 1, like a more advanced version of that same combo. Also, when it comes to the assists, Jinx actually legitimately has some of the best in the game. She has her basic rocket shot, the back assist, and once again, that's the only true projectile in the game, so that's worth its weight in gold. And she also has chompers. And chompers, once again here, you can manipulate chompers just as well as Jinx can, right? So I think she's one of the better candidates for the 2x assist fuse, as you can put down chompers and shoot a rocket and just fill the screen with trash. Now, let's go to Vi. So some would argue Vi is like a boomerang that never gives up, if you've seen that song too many times. But anyways, so Vi is your rush down, beat down character. Vi does not do much from range other than very telegraphed moves. And even then, those moves will bring you in. She is all about getting stuck in, and she has great rush down and pressure. She is also maybe debatably the highest skill cap character in the game, as she has what we would, in the fighting game terms, call electrics. And yes, this move is literally like electric anyways, but many of her moves can be held and charged. And the thing is, you do not necessarily have to hold it all the way to get the benefit. And for some of her combo routes, you need that. Like say here, if we did her dashing move, we'll talk more about this later, but her dashing move, charge light into charge medium. That's the natural combo. Great. But if we do the regular light in the charge medium, that's not a combo. However, if you hold it with the exact right timing, then it will become a combo. So you have to let go before the charge is fully done, but you still get the benefits of the charge. And this will be applicable for many of her things. So when you play her, you gotta put some time in the training mode, is what I'm trying to say, if you want to get the most out of her. Now that said, she also has some unique properties here. Like her down heavy is not the usual cross up, as it's almost like a double jump. And you can literally use it like a double jump, although it'll always go forward, FYI. And if it connects, then it'll put the enemy in a shock state. So if you get this as a cross up, you can like rush in and charge and then just keep attacking after that. You won't get the normal combo some of the other characters would get. But it's just interesting that it's a way to manipulate her air movement, because no one else really has something like that. Another unique trait is she's full of target combos. So like, yes, you can go like light, medium, heavy like everyone else, but I'm saying like light in the light is its own unique thing. Medium in the medium is its own unique thing. In fact, if you play a lot of attacking, you might be hearing in your head here, like Brian Fury. And heavy in the heavy also gives just a big knee follow-up. So she has a lot of just like built-in target combos besides just, you know, the regular light, medium, and heavy stuff. And heavy in the heavy is actually fantastic because it can create some just very easy to work with juggle scenarios, basically. So now let's talk some more unique traits. So one of the big things is S1, just a big old punch. You can tap it, you can hold it. Many of her moves are holdable or mashable, as we'll get into. And this is very strong because, like, if it hits, hey, great, fantastic. Like, you want a move to hit. But this is part of the way she gets in and stays in. So by itself, you see here, it's a little negative. And if you do it point blank, it'd be a little bit more negative. You don't want to do that. And you can hold it all the way, and then it'll always be advantage on block. So if they block it, it's your turn. You will go first if you both hit buttons. That's great. That's fantastic. But of course, more than a little telegraphed. But if you hold it part of the way, where you see the steam, but not holding it all the way for the big final punch, so you just see the steam, then let go, that's always advantage on block as well. And that's a way to kind of work your way in. That's harder to react to. It's less obvious necessarily. And if you get the hit, great. But if not, you rest assured, even if it's only a single frame in the enemy's face means if you both mash buttons, you're going to win every time. So when you can get in with that partial charge, that's part of the way you get in and stay in. Also helping with just being annoying, down S1 is a parry. And it'll just smoke the enemy. So this is actually a frame 1 startup. So if you have a rough read at all on the enemy, you can just hit this and it'll work out in your favor. Also, it'll very helpfully lead into some supers as well, so you can get some extra damage. Now S2 For Honda enjoyers in the audience, this is basically 100-hand slap, and I'll always end in a wall bounce. Now, this is a mash okay move. Here's me tapping it, 4 hits. Now, here's me slamming on the button. Until here, more damage and a lot more hits, right? So Vi is a character where mash is okay. So, for Street Fighter fans, you know, hey, Honda's back. Just became a sexy lady instead, I guess. So yeah, this is really good too, because if it's blocked, it does a good amount of chip damage, holds the enemy in place, and generally, it's just a great candidate for you to like tag in and do some mix-ups, do some pressure. It's just useful in a lot of situations, as a 100-hand slap should be. Now down S2 is this big old slam. Marvel fans, you might know this as Captain Corridor. And as advertised, this is a no-fly zone. This move actually has air invulnerability just like a down heavy does. And her down heavy doesn't go very high up. So when people are jumping, people are airborne, this generally is going to be your go-to. This is a no-fly zone. This legitimately goes all the way up. There's nothing you can do. Vi owns the whole airspace above her head because of this move. It's fantastic. Also, it's one of the better off-the-ground moves in the game because it'll hit off the ground and relaunch the enemy. So anytime they're grounded, rest assured, you got some easy damage coming your way. This move is also air okay. So if you do S2 in the air, you'll just dunk on the ground and big explosion. This is also off the ground move as well. And just to round up, jumping S1 is a big air dunk. So in and of itself, okay, just slam on the ground. And the thing is, because the animation's so long, you can like easily tag into your partner and have them do something else. That's actually one of the unique traits Vi has, that she can easily keep hitting you while the partner is tagged in, and they can just do whatever they want. Now, that's all to say here. This is fancy footwork. This is like one of the main things about the character. So forward or backwards S1, or forward and backwards S1, or the same or reverse here, back and then forward S1. So she'll rush in like a prize fighter boxer, and she has 3 options here. And she has a few options from here. So we have dash in or dash backwards light. It's a basic straight, and it's holdable here for more damage and a different effect. We have medium, which is just a basic hit. It'll knock them up a little bit. And if it's held, big electric, bigger knockback. And we have heavy, which is a leaping attack here. And if held, just a giant dunk that'll bounce the enemy. And all these, once again, are holdable, and this is part of the electric move, right? So all these, you can hold halfway through, still get the benefit of the full charge, and that's how we get some of our more advanced combo structure, because that worked. But once again here, as we talked about earlier, that didn't work, because I didn't hold it frame perfect. I don't think it's actually frame perfect. There's a little bit of leniency there, but there's an element of timing. You want to hold it a bit, but not too much for a lot of these moves. Now, besides that, if you're doing a forward dash, you can dash again and just slide through the enemy. So say if you have like your partner in, it's an easy way to sandwich them between you and your partner, which is really good for, say, the freestyle fuse. And you also have an honest-to-God throw, and you'll just bounce the enemy off the wall. Now, this throw, unlike, say, you know, Blitz command grab, this is techable like a regular throw is. But, given it's so fast it can hit from so far away, most people aren't going to tech this. And because it knocks them in the wall and leaves them on the ground, we talked about how she's good at that whole off-the-ground kind of stuff, right? So for her, it's pretty trivial to just like dash up and get some follow-ups going on here and get some very respectable damage off a grab. So she's always a threat because she can dash in and attack at any point, or dash in and throw at any point. And of course, she can charge in, be advantage on block. There's a lot of ways for her to work her way in. Now, super moves. So our first super move, you may notice this is a bit reminiscent of some other moves, especially if you see it slow motion. As it's very much Terry Bogard's Buster Wolf, and useful in a lot of the same ways. So it travels forward very fast, so it can hit even from just about full screen. So in situations where the opponent is being juggled, like say in a long-range Jinx super, you can still see this, and if you're using double down, still be able to reach from that far away to get that extra damage. So that's really useful. And her other move is the ground pound super, which you already seen. And the thing is, notice the hits here. Okay, 6 hits. Okay, sure. But now, notice this. you're gonna get a lot more than 6 hits, because this is another mash okay move. So the more you mash, the more damage and more hits you're gonna get. So just slam on those buttons like you're always meant to do if you're playing a fighting game. And level 3, it's mostly just damage like most level 3s. Now for her assists. So her neutral assist is just the big punch forward, which is useful in a lot of ways. And her back assist is also that ground pound, which also is off the ground. So that means in a lot of scenarios, you can scoop people off the ground and launch them. And some assists head off the ground but won't launch. This will launch. So you can just keep air comboing, doing whatever. That's actually really useful in a way a lot of characters do not have. So for certain setups, certain gimmicks, Vi can help you in a way that most of the rest of the cast just can't even entertain. So that's really good for her. Now let's talk Illaoi. So Illaoi is very unique. I've been at this fighting game thing since 1991. I don't think I've seen a character play like Illaoi plays specifically, so it's always a treat to see something new after all these decades. So yeah, she's a bigger body character. Compared to old Jinx, she's a lot thicker, to say the least, right? And you might notice there's this whole tentacle motif going on here, right? So she's effectively a cleric, if you will, of Nagakaboros, who you might as well compare to Cthulhu. Although Cthulhu being a bit of a nasty man elder god, Nagakaboros is more of a self-help deity. Nagakaboros wants you to be the best you can be, although you might die in the process, so there's always a catch, but not necessarily just evil like most sea-based gods you see in fantasy. But yeah, so it's all about the tentacles, hitting people with tentacles, slapping around with tentacles, setting up tentacles. It's a whole thing, basically. And one of the cooler things about all these tentacles is your partner can use them too, not just you. Like any kind of knockdown will trigger a tentacle into a pop-up. So your partner, if they're on the screen, can use them just as well as you. So as the enemy, you're incentivized to get rid of these things. A good chunk of her special moves will plant them. So you as the opponent want to smack them to get them off the screen, because the more of them are on the screen, the more you're in trouble. If a tentacle's on the screen, she can say summon them to help extend combos. Like she can literally slap you around with them. Like that's an option, right? And in fact, the option here that can slap you around here, back S1 while tentacle's live, if you hold it, it'll bring you in. Even if you block it, it'll bring you in against your will. It's very scary. And what's really scary, don't necessarily call her a grappler, but if you're near a tentacle, she can command grab you with the tentacle. That is not a blockable move. And keep in mind, if she throws you anywhere near a tentacle as well, the tentacle is going to assist, and then she's going to get more combos. So her throw game, while not necessarily a grappler, is definitely better than the average character. So let's talk about just her general game plan. So she has better range than most of the characters. She's more comparable to, say, Darius that we talked about earlier. So some of her normals actually had to be nerfed in this build of the game. But like stuff like heavy, her charge heavy goes like half the screen. That's really good. She has forward S1, which is one of the best moves in the game. It's very ignorant, for lack of a better term. It's what we would call a Rekaken move in other fighting games. So you can just do it once, you can do it twice, or you can do it 3 times, and the third hit is actually her regular S1 special, which has pretty intense range, as you can see here. It's not exactly full screen, but it's just about full screen. And because that last hit's a big old splat, you know, depending on your partner, you can get some stuff off of that. Like normally this should be the reward in and of itself, but with some smart team building, some smart use of the mechanics, you can get more damage than you should, is what I'm trying to say, you know? So keep team building in mind always. And also, with that big slam we mentioned here, which has that giant range and is also the ender of the Rekka, if you do happen to have a tentacle on screen while it's near, it'll trigger the tentacle and it'll pop the enemy up. Or if you happen to be doing your Rekka series, a tentacle will also slap the enemy while you're doing it too. Your special moves trigger tentacles to attack. You want to plant as many tentacles on the ground and just be an annoyance with them. Now, thankfully, there's a lot of ways to do it. Pretty much all of her S2 buttons if they connect, will put a tentacle on screen. The base one, just regular S2, is a hit that'll pop the enemy up. Timing can be a little tight, but you can get a follow-up afterwards. But that's one way to do it. But if you're doing it for specifically combos, maybe do a little bit less damage overall. But we have down S2, which is recently big time buffed for this build. So down S2 is a sort of a projectile. It does hit low, so you must crouch block this move. What was buffed is the fact that if you hold it, it tracks wherever the enemy is, anywhere on screen. So if they're on the ground and they're not already blocking low, this does connect. And if this connects, it plants a tentacle. So for combo structure, if you can get it to connect here, easy to use. And when you use some of our other moves, we talked that use the tentacles to keep the combos going. And as a zoning tool, it is now like a full screen tool. People have to watch their toes everywhere on the screen, especially because we can use that tentacle as soon as it connects. So if I hit you even from full screen, you're getting slapped. And keep in mind, team building is everything. Just because it seems too far away to reach out and affect the enemy doesn't mean it actually is. You can always think within the terms of the mechanics to get more damage than you should. Another move that plants a tentacle on the ground is forward S2. This is just a big old leaping overhead. And this will plant a projectile, or rather a tentacle, on the ground. Also, all things considered, it's actually very safe to go for. Like, if it's blocked, like, it sucks it gets blocked, but it's -2. Like, you're not really too broken up about it. Also, to keep up with her big body image, it is holdable. So if you hold it here, it's a much more damaging move. And if it happens to be blocked, then you actually have some pretty good advantage. You're pushed out far away, the tentacle's in the face, and actually the right distance to hit them with the command grab from, FYI. And air S2 is just kind of like how you bring the enemy to the ground, usually in most combo structures, and it just helpfully plants a tentacle when you land on the ground. So that's really, really good. Extra strong in the corner, because as we talked about, you know, a basic throw will trigger a tentacle, and if it's already in the corner, like, that could potentially just be game over right there. And again, once the tentacle is on screen, certain moves will trigger tentacles, like down S1. We'll just pop a tentacle anywhere on screen. And we also have S1 in the air. So if you're doing like just basic juggle combos, they'll take a tentacle anywhere on the screen, pop them back up in the air. You can just re-juggle from there. So plant tentacles, burn tentacles. It's the whole game plan. As far as the super goes, the one super, it's really big. It just does a good amount of damage. And generally speaking, no matter what you're doing, even if they're on the ground, it'll help scoop them off the ground. It just hurts. There's no nuance. It just does damage. One thing to note, though, if you have a tentacle on screen, if you hold the button, it'll take any tentacles you already have and reestablish the tentacle wherever the enemy just landed. So it doesn't give you one, but it'll reposition any tentacles you currently have. And the other super, this is more advanced. So it'll give you 2 tentacles, and they'll just attack in 3 reps. And when it's done, it'll leave a tentacle on the ground. So it'll also take up to 2 existing tentacles and also supersize them along with the ones that are planted yourself here. So it can get a little silly, right? So it's always going to be 3 attacks. And the idea is when you're doing this, you're going to be pressuring the enemy. Like, you can make combos happen. You can try to go for high-low mix-ups. You can try sneak grabs in between. Like, whatever you want to do. Pressure, 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 pressure. And if you can get the combo, all the better yet, right? But it's very advanced. Like, you don't just do this with no game plan in mind. When it comes to her assists, the back assist is just that big old dunk. It will hit off the ground. It doesn't do anything really besides that, but it's just a big singular hit that will cover most of the screen. And the forward or neutral assist is the move that hits upwards here and will plant a tentacle. One thing to note with that, specifically if you're using double assist, like, it'll go into itself and it'll have 2 tentacles on screen. There's a lot of nefarious things you can do with that, is what I'm trying to say. A tentacle is just as good for you as it is for Illaoi. So if you can get 2 of them on screen, all the better yet.
Time's up! Fire it up!
Now, coming off Illaoi, Ekko is another very unique character. So on the surface there, he's a little bit smaller. He's very fast. He can move around. Like, this is one of the most nerfed things in the game is his backdash, and he can still go full screen almost immediately, right? That used to be basically like a teleport before. So he's fast. He wants to get in your face and mix you up. And boy, howdy, does he got the toolkit for exactly that. So for one, he has extra air movement. Not many characters have movement besides just the base jump, right? He has an air dash only forward, but he can do it, and it's to his credit for sure. And to help with the pressure part of Rushdown, he's got a weird projectile. That don't look like much, does it? And because if you use it like that, it doesn't mean much. But it doesn't hit right away, it slows down. And if it hits during that part where it's slowed down, ooh. That is very much what we call a capture state. And you can just hit them and do whatever full combo from there. Also, when it's in that state and expanded, you can bat it around. And you can throw this in the air, by the way. So it can be on the ground, so I can toss it and then smack it towards the enemy. So, like, it's not traditional, you know, fighting game 101 zoning by any chance, but there's some stuff to it is what I'm trying to say. You can toss it in the air and just be an annoying threat, because if it's in that slower bit, it's going to cause that state. Or you can just whip it at the enemy, whatever. Down in S1, it'll kind of just float up. And this, say if the enemy was knocked down, you can literally just set it up as they're knocked down and see what happens. And it's another move like before. You can bat it around. And in fact, it's nice slow. You go for the home run swing as well. Just go for a full charge heavy attack. Just, it's satisfying like that. Now, forward S1 is very interesting because it'll always switch sides. And the thing is, it'll always switch sides, even on block. So it's something you got to watch out for. Now, the third hits kind of can, so that's safe, whatever, right? But it's a very proficient way to sweat you and him between the enemy, right? Especially have freestyle. And on top of that, like we talk Rushdown, right? He's got some unique traits, like he has a running attack, running heavy. And this, while it doesn't do much in itself, it leaves him airborne. So if you do this, you can, like, say, do jump light right afterwards. And if you do get the hit, it will be a natural combo. But he can also do the air dash we talked about right after the fact. So basically, yeah, you can get tricky. Like, am I going to land? Am I going to stay in the air and then go for an instant overhead? Like, there's some layers there. But it's all a prelude. I'm kind of burying the lead here to the main event. And that's these guys, the after images. So he has a variety of ways to create a clone of himself. And from that clone, he can do all sorts of nasty tricks. Now, when we talk about this, there's two kind of clones, but all the moves create one of the two of the clones. So there's jump S2, and he'll just kind of spike down on your head. There's stand S2, and it's just a basic strike. There's down S2, which is a little bit of like a combat roll, if you will. So while the clones are live, as long as they're still on the screen, you can hit the same button again and get a follow-up. So say for the air S2. If I hit the button again, he'll teleport back to it and then bop you in the head. Or I can hit down in the button, he'll go to the ground and do a bit of a cartwheel kick. The basic S2 strike on the ground, same deal. If I tap it again, he'll do the strike again. But if I hit down in the button, he'll do the same cartwheel kick. The roll. So if I do roll and tap it, he'll do the strike. If I do the roll and tap down in the button, he'll do the cartwheel kick. Okay, so there's those. But you can also do the move where you hold it, and it creates a volatile after image. And this is a much stronger after image because you get better moves out of this. So say the basic S2 strike, right? So we'll hold it, and you might notice here the move will change because it'll switch sides. The properties change a little bit when you're doing the held version of the move on top of getting the better clone. So we do this, and now if we hit the button again, we just come in normally. We don't necessarily have to go for an attack. Now, don't get me wrong. You can absolutely go for an attack, but you can just go for a full combo. Like the regular non-charge version is the base strike. No follow-ups possible. You just get the move. The held version, I can do whatever I want and get a lot more damage. And for the held version, we talk about how there's the down version as well, right? So down with volatile after image is chrono break. And that's just a straight up wall bounce. So rest assured, wall bounces, again, you're just getting whatever combos you want to get. So much the same here of the roll. If we do the held roll, tap it, we just dodge in place. You can do whatever you want to do. If you hold it, you get chrono break. the air version. So that has much more hits if you hold it, much more devastating. We tap it, we just come in, we can do whatever attacks we want to do. I can do this and just come in with like more attacks, sure. Or maybe I do this, and I come with nothing, and I go for a throw. I can mix you up however I want. And again here, if we hit down on the button here, we get Chrono Break again. And Chrono Break's really good because it's not terribly negative on block most of the time. So it's another safer version than the regular after image. So basically everything is this. At some point, you're either setting up your slow projectile to try to hit on the part where it'll create the combo state and then you combo them, or you're messing around with after images and just being real tricky. And one of the great things about Ekko is because he has the after image and it stays live for a while, right? It doesn't go away right away. You can set up shop a little bit. Like, so he has like a stock overhead. And for a lot of characters, okay, you overhead and you call an assist. That works. He don't need no assist. Like, if you have an after image up, he can overhead and then combo into his own overhead by himself. The assist is not needed. To help with this, he's borrowing a little bit from King of Fighters, actually. He has Iori's taco kick from King of Fighters, down heavy, and it's like world's easiest impossible to miss cross up. So say we're doing like charge S2, right? And charge S2, I'm going to teleport and I'm going to come in with an instant overhead. I'll teleport and then I'll do my air dash and then cross you up. So if you block normally, you just got crossed up. AKA you dead. Simple as that, right? So thanks to these after images and all the mirror, I would spend this whole video just talking about all the ways you can do it. And like, you're going to invent some. Like, there's so many possibilities thanks to his moveset. It's so inventive. If you're a creative kind of player and you like inventing scenarios, Ekko is that character. Because his offense is overwhelming and his ability to create offense and just do tricky stuff, thanks to all these teleports and all the shenanigans he can do with his various after images and clones, it's overwhelming. If you like fast, powerful offense and doing it in a flashy way that, well, challenge the limits of your creativity, this is that guy. And keeping that in mind here, we got the supers. So the base super don't look like much. Okay, it's a little bit like a boomerang, but just like his other moves, he can smack it around here. So, like, how about that? So I can go like light, medium, heavy, do my super, hits you, bounce it up, and then it'll wall bounce you, and I can keep comboing after the fact. So his combo routing is very inventive once again. And then, hell, we got the other super. This is when he just starts pulling the brakes here. He just gives himself a long-lasting, permanent clone till the timer runs out. And that clone, by the way, is the good held clone. So while this is up here, you can teleport it to whenever you want. It uses up a bit of your meter, because you know, that's fair. And you can also use Chrono Break out of it whenever you want. Whatever you're going to do, you have a backup plan. Look at this. So right there, I hit you with the cross up, went back to my original side, then hit you with the overhead. So you had to block overhead kind of both ways real quick. And if you don't, like, I'm going to get a combo. This is, again, the limits are your imagination. You can do anything you can dream up while this is live. And I do want to mention, like, the level 3s. I'm not talking about too much because usually they're just big dumb damage. He does have a unique thing about his level 3 in particular because he's the boy who broke time, right? So if he does his level 3 and he gets hit out of it, he'll just say, nah, you know what? I didn't get hit out of it. Screw you. So it's cute. It's neat. It's fun. I like it. So if you're looking for ultimate style points, it's absolutely that. And to talk about the assists. So his basic normal assist, it's just the basic hit. Doesn't need to be nothing special. A good strike is always worth its weight in gold. And then his back assist is that projectile. And it has the same rules. So you can get that sweet spot and potentially create that capture state on the enemy. So it's a big landmine on the field. It's like something they got to play around. So it's actually a pretty strong assist, all things told. The only thing to knock it is you as the player, other player, cannot bat it around like he can. You need that proprietary baseball tech, I guess. That's only for him. But yeah, Ekko's pretty cool.
Engage. Hazardous unit contained. Unit dismantled.
Now enter Blitzcrank. So he's your big boy. Now, unlike some of the other larger characters, some of his inherent range normally isn't actually that far. But Blitz can reach out and grab you any old place on the screen. If you played your League of Legends, you know rocket grab, and it's a little bit easier to land as a skill shot. Let's put it that way in this game. Although we don't got to worry about free Blitzcrank week like we did back in the day, where the bad Blitzcrank who can't aim would ruin your game. So yeah, we got that. So hey, what's the upside here? So if it hits, you can just bop the enemy. Great. Here's why Blitz is terrifying. You don't want Blitz beside you, ever. And rocket grab, well, it brings you in, don't it? And here's the thing, even if they block the move, right? Because, you know, people are going to block, sure, whatever. They block the move, it still brings them in. And notice here it says +4. So if they block this move, it's your turn. Blitzcrank gets to go first. At bare minimum, if you both hit buttons at the same time, Blitz is going to win. Like, he's just going to win. No one with +4 can beat him hitting buttons. So, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit and block. My bad. My bad. So here's the thing. Oh, you block? Sure, dummy. Idiot. What were you doing blocking? You blocked when it was my turn? Get grabbed. So he's the game's grappler. And he's got some dunks on him. It's a fast grab. It's a big old dunk. Any situation where he's advantage frames over you, like every rocket grab, it's the classic. Guess strike or guess throw. Now, granted, you're a little obvious about it. There's counterplay. They don't just gotta take it. Like, you can jump it as well, right? And there's at least that too, because, you know, oh, okay, you're smarter than me. You jumped it. Stupid. Why'd you jump for? Because I have an anti-air grab as well. But yeah, this is Blitz 101. Yo, advantage frames, be it like somehow you're in their face, and then are you gonna throw them or not? That's basically the game. Also, if you hold throw, he will run forward and do basically running bear grab and toss you as well. So he's a little mobile like that. But of course, you know, that's the basics, but there's a lot more to the boy. So some of the things he does have range on. It doesn't just have to be a rocket grab, right? He does have stand S2, which is just a big old rocket punch, and it controls a lot of the screen. And also rocket punch is comboable. It will cancel into rocket grab. And if you're somewhat close, it will naturally combo into itself as well. So it can put you into that very advantageous situation where all of a sudden, start guessing for your life. Now, keep in mind the grab's very strong. You're not allowed to call assist while the grab is actively live. You can call assist before it's out. And for some characters, you might get some stuff. But as always, team building is key. Sometimes your partner, even if they're not directly there at the moment, might leave a fun little treat for you. Because hey, after all, you never know what surprises just might be lying around on the battlefield for you to kind of use and abuse. A simple command grab might wind up being a lot more when it's all said and done. That's the fun of a character like Blitzcrank. So some other things, he has a strong grappler cross-up, like almost every fighting game ever made. You barely have to aim this, just vaguely be in the area, and he's so wide that it'll just sort of work out. And we talked, you know, hey, stand 2's good. He has other moves too, like forward 2, forward S2 rather, is a bit of a spin the wind move. And you might notice here that bar at the bottom. So when I'm hitting this, that bar is going up. And we have an air version as well, where he's a bit of a wrecking ball. And if that connects with the opponent, that'll also build that bar. And also, we talked about the grabs build the bar too, right? So what's this bar? So the bar, and you can also build this manually by cranking it, if you will. So when this is up, the steam is activated, and he gets extra scary. So for one, those rocket grabs, he just attacks you afterwards, and it becomes a combo starter in and of itself. Like normally he could do this and maybe do a base follow-up, and that's it. Or do nothing and just try to do, you know, grab or strike mix, which is probably better. But when the steam is up, you just get a free guaranteed combo if it connects. Like, don't worry about being fancy. Just take the damage. And if they do happen to block it, it's not the worst because you actually have slightly more advantage frames than before. So it's a bit easier just to enforce your will. Also, when you have this steam built up, you might notice something a little different happen there, right? He has a bit of a defense matrix on his grab. So it's as advertised, actually. So for one, his base grab does 250. If the steam is up and he has his buff up, it'll now do 300. So it just does more damage. So that's an incentive in and of itself. Also, that defense matrix is super armor. So he'll just go through whatever on his way to get that grab. So say the enemy's attacking you, right? Even the basic non-held version of the grab will get that armor buff as well. So you can theoretically use this as a defensive move. I don't think the armor starts frame 1, but if you're worried about situations where they're pressing buttons, the buff version is literally armored. It's just strictly better. Also, because we keep talking grab, one little fun trick. So that forward S2 move, you can cancel the start of that into his grab. So here's grab, here's forward S2 grab. And you see how it like kind of extends his range? It'll actually let you hit your grab from further away than you normally could. You got to be a little quick on your fingers. So forward S2, down S2, but the tech is there. Now, besides that, let's talk to super. So the one super is pretty easy. It's a big old punch, done. And also that big old punch fully builds your steam bar. So there's a lot of incentive to do this just besides the base punch. Because now you're online, you're good to go. So the next grab, the next rocket grab, like whatever you're doing, it's going to be scary. And the other one, it's sort of more like the combo super, although you can't use the other one combos, but it moves him forward and upwards. So it's a lot easier to hit in a lot of situations compared to like the base just dunk super where he just punches. And fun thing about this, so comes in, big laser, sure. But if you happen to have full steam, if you hold the super button, he will use that steam up and do more damage otherwise would, right? So it's another way to use your steam. Like if it's already there and you're already comboing them, you might as well do the super and hold the button so you can get that extra free damage in. And once again here, most level 3s are just big dumb damage things, but Blitz's level 3 is an honest to God command grab, just like his regular command grab. So if the enemy is blocking everything, you can just run up and do your level 3 and they're going for the ride. And the thing is, it's the good kind. Because, like, you know, in some games, some grab level 3 supers, you just jump them after you see the flash. In this game, you see the flash and hold up, it's too late. If the flash happened and you're there to be grabbed, you're done. You had to have already been jumping. If you're just passive and you see it, you can't hold up. It's too late. You got grabbed. And well, it should go without saying, but this grab does a bit more damage than the normal command grab, right? So, you know, it's like half of your life. So if you're just looking to blow someone up and they're a little passive, that's a game-ending scenario, potentially. And for the assist, well, it's not too complex. Yo, it's the rocket grabs. So the forward or neutral assist is regular grab. Back is just where he aims upwards. The upwards one specifically is worth its weight in gold in every way you think it could be. Because it'll just bring the enemy right to you. So in situations where they should be knocked far away... Actually, no, let's keep comboing them, actually, right? So Blitz's upwards grab, rocket grab assist, is like potentially the most combo-friendly assist in the game. If you want easy combos, between these two rocket grabs, you got them. Like, I struggle to think of a scenario where Blitz just doesn't give you the world off this. That's just dirt easy that you don't have to think. There's a lot of like elaborate advanced scenarios to make combos. Blitz is... Turn your brain off. Just kind of pop them, do rocket grab as the assist, bring them back in, recombo, done.
Ready. That goes here.
We go! Ahri! It's that time! Good, friends!
Now we go from Blitzcrank, a big boy, to an even bigger boy. We have Braum. Braum has some similarities to Blitzcrank, but they're not the same. Like, he has a command grab. This is a good one, too. And in fact, it gets better. Like, it scales up. Because he has a unique buff, and the buff lets him get combos after the grab, right? So it's good, but he doesn't have the myriad ways to set up the grab as easily. If he wants to grab, he's really got to earn it, versus Blitz can kind of slop his way to a grab. Conversely, though, he has armor like Blitz, except he's got a lot more armor, and it's a lot more abusable, but we'll talk about it. So let's talk about the basics first. So yeah, Braum's big, he's slow. His only way to get in is to kind of get in. One of the things that helps with that a lot, though, that big door he's holding here is a shield. And yes, he'll beat you over the head with it, but he can also use the shield as a shield, funnily enough. And while he is shielding himself, your stuff ain't getting through. And also, because this wasn't the case in the last build I played, the shield now beats low attacks as well. The only thing shield loses to is throw. Otherwise, he'll just kind of tank everything. So you can kind of create some cinematic moments is what I'm saying. He'll still take a little bit of damage, but otherwise he's just gonna get in. And that means while he's getting in, like the assist can be behind him and just doing whatever they want to do. So Braum can kind of force a slower game in a way that normally doesn't work in this game. This game goes at very breakneck speeds normally. Another thing that he has is, you know, a lot of people have like holdable heavy attacks. He's got a lot of them. And he has a lot of like follow-ups to his heavy. So like regular heavy has 2 follow-ups and the second one bounces. Forward heavy, it's got 2 follow-ups and the second one launches. His normal down heavy, like the anti-air, he can do 2. He's like flexing on you, working out while launching you. And they can be held, Lots of things can be held. And that includes like stuff like his special moves. Like even the special moves, like that's the regular S2. This is the held S2. They're very different moves. Now here's the buff. So when the buff is live, and we'll talk about the moves to give the buff later, but when the buff is live, a lot of these held moves just get deadlier. Like that regular stand heavy or forward heavy. Now all of a sudden, these moves get super armor. And they can be very deadly, especially because as charged heavies, these are dash cancelable for me, right? Like I can create combos after the fact. I don't even just get the raw hit. Charge S2 is another move. I just get super armor while I'm doing it. And also, you might notice they went flying, right? So while I have the buff live, that also becomes a wall bounce. So I'm going to get a combo. So basically, a lot of things get super armor and a lot of things get new properties. So that said here, let's talk about the special moves. So one, it doesn't look like much on his face here. The Poro. So this is his projectile. It don't look like much, like compared to what we showed you with Jinx, right? Like it ain't much. He can hold it though. He can charge it. And then he throws it further. That's about it. But the one very handy thing about this is an off the ground okay move. So if you happen to be on the ground, little Poro buddy can pop you up, and that actually helps his combo structure. And while you happen to be popped up thanks to our Poro pal, I'm just going to take you to the cleaners. How about that, right? So like that helps a lot. So Poro, you know, doesn't seem that scary, but he's got some stuff. Especially on some of those big charge combos, because Poro can help the combo keep going. So now let's talk Stan S2. So Stan S2 is the shield charge. And this is the one, if you hold it, it's also the shield bash. So shield charge actually is really strong in a couple ways. One, it has projectile invulnerability. So if you know something's coming your way, you can just tank all the way through it. It'll just stop all projectiles dead in their tracks. And after the base hit connects, if you hit the button again, it'll pop the enemy and you'll apply the buff. It'll give you more damage, and now you're very dangerous because your buff is live. So now when the buff is live, it changes the follow-up. So now instead of giving you the buff, it goes corner to corner. You're taking him to the corner no matter what. And after that knockdown, you can give him just a little bit of a love tap because it does count as an OTG okay state. And we talked about the charge version. So the charge version, as we went over, it wall bounces the enemy and it has super armor now. This is one of your most abusable moves even without the buff, because it just is a way to get in. It is not the safest on block, but as long as you space it, you're mostly okay. Just try to hit it at the edge of the move. Unless you have the buff up and you're believing in the super armor, then hey, go crazy. I'm not going to stop you. We also have the concussive punch. So he'll just punch the shield, and the force of the punch through the shield will knock you down. So this is strong in that it creates a tumble state by itself. So if you hit this in the corner, they're tumbled, and that means you're getting more combos, so that's good. The move is also always advantage on block, and pretty significantly so. So you're going to be +7, and at a range where you can kind of just hit stand medium right afterwards, and there's not much they can do to kind of challenge you on that. So if they're scared to press a button, then at which point, like, try to sneak in a command grab, something like that. If you happen to have the buff live, changes the move entirely. It'll burn the buff. I'm a full screen projectile that freezes the enemy. And, well, far be it for me to tell you how to do your thing, but yeah, you get full combos if that happens. So once again, here, I want to stress that buff is a very big deal. Now I mentioned the command grab. We have the command grab. That's down S1. So this does a lot of damage. This is very similar to Blitz. It does 270. And it also applies the buff. So you're heavily incentivized for landing it. Also, it leaves them in an OTG okay state when they're knocked down. From which, his one pillar super is kind of messed up. Like he gets huge reward. Bigger than Blitz, really. He can take almost half your life if he lands this. Like, yeah, he's got to burn a super meter afterwards. But if you're already got the command grab, you might as well, right? And once again, it applies the buff. So now if the buff is live, it changes the command grab. So the base grab actually does slightly less damage, but it'll freeze them and then they'll fall over to the ground. So you can do basically any hit you want after the fact. If you land the buff grab, they're going for the ride. Like, actually Blitz kind of can't compare on this one. Like, just but the amount of solo damage you can put out, they're gonna regret getting grabbed, basically is what I'm saying. Like, that's a lot by a solo character off the grab. Now another lovely thing is down S2. So it's a little hop. This is not an overhead. I know it looks like an overhead. It's not an overhead. He does have down, forward, and medium. That is an overhead. That will pop him on the ground. But this, it applies shield buff, right? And it bounces him. That's nice. But what's really good is it applies shield buff no matter what, even on block. And if they block it, they're pushed back a bit, -4. Like, it's safe anyways with a bit of pushback. And now you have what you want. So if you're just trying to force the issue, like you can't land the combo to apply freeze or can't land grab to apply freeze, no matter what, down S2 will just apply freeze no matter what. So if you just need the buff now, this is the move to go for. So yeah, Braum, big dude, a lot of big heavy attacks, lots of charge heavy attacks. Everything is just in the thing of like getting in, right? And he's got some really good tools for it. And God forbid if you happen to have the buff live, because not only are you getting in, you're getting in with armor, and you're just going to juggernaut your way through everything. Now, talk supers. I think Braum has some of the best in the game. So he has his Ice Pillar super, which is amazing because it works off any off-the-ground scenario. And it'll basically go the length of the screen. And the more hits you get, the more damage you get. So generally, this is better mid-screen. Because unfortunately, one of the downsides, if you're in the corner, you won't get all the hits. Like, you'll get some of the initial hits, you'll lose the rest of the hits. So the one thing about that is you really got to watch the spacing on it. It's also fantastic for double down. Because right before you call it as, say, an OTG attack, just call your assistant and double down, let you tag in while you're doing a super. And you're like, oh, I got it. And now I'm going to tag in, and I'm just going to chase the enemy all the way with it. So it's great corner carry on top of just getting more damage, which you obviously should be looking for. And then his other level 1 super, it's just a big old dumb hit, but it's a big old dumb hit that applies the buff. We're always looking to apply the buff. And better yet, if you have the buff live already, notice it did 265 by itself, right? If you have the buff up, it then burns the buff to do even more damage. And it works great with combo scaling, especially. So at the end of a longer combo, you can make that level 1 super hurt. And level 3, once again, big dumb cinematic super. It's cute. It's got Poro snacks. It's got a big old fluff of Poros. The Poros beat the crap. It's nice, but like it's most level 3s just does damage. And now for the assists. So his base assist is the shield charge, and it just does the hit, nothing too much. And his back assist is the actual shield, like the defensive shield, and this has a single hit of armor to it. Now, the thing about that, if Braum has his buff and he's tagged out with the buff, both of the assists will benefit from the buff. The shield now wall bounces the enemy. So offensively, that gets a lot stronger, to say the least. And the shield now takes 2 hits. Keep in mind, while Braum is out, the enemy can't go through him with the shield, right? So while they're bouncing harmlessly off the shield, maybe set up a counterattack. So yeah, there is some value on sending up the buff and then tagging Braum out, because then his various moves get a lot better.
Unleash! Your turn!
Forward! Break it down!
Don't keep away. Give me your heart!
Now, Ahri. So Ahri, I know she's very popular with League of Legends fans, and she'll probably be popular with a lot of people looking for, you know, the versus game vibe, because she's sort of the default versus game character in that, yo, she's got all sorts of air movement. She's the only character with a full-on, no qualms, no consequences, no holding it back, air dash. Like Ekko has one a bit, but it's only forward. She can air dash forward, backwards. She has instant air dash, and she can do like the usual easy, like instant cross up, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you like air mobility, this is the character, and that's usually one of the signs of a versus game is air mobility. So that said, this is a character, honestly, she's changed a lot. Like, she's almost a different character than the last time I remember playing her. But yeah, so on top of air mobility, she has a lot of screen control. She's not a zoner like Jinx, not exactly like that, but she can make you think for a second because she has Foxfire. Now, by itself, Foxfire, oh, not exactly a Hadoken now, is it? Because it doesn't quite go that far. It'll hit though, you know, it'll hit. But what makes it really strong is it has follow-ups. So there's the base hit, which doesn't do much, but if I hit the button again, I'll automatically jump and then shoot a second one. And from there, I'm airborne. I can shoot another air one. And by the way, the air ones are not necessarily held back on like the ground ones. These will go full screen. And this is also aimable. So maybe you won't zone fully with this one, but between this air version and this 45-degree like Akuma fireball style version, that can frustrate the enemy. So I can just basically toss it out. If it hits, cool, I'm getting a full screen conversion, I guess. Well, most of the screen anyways. And even from further out, I can convert into a super and we can get some damage. It's not going to be a lot, but like they'll feel it. And keep in mind too, these aerial versions of Foxfire, you can do things like dash cancel them or cancel them into other special moves, like say her air drills. And well, drill is on the ground as well. This is part of her mobility, as she can do this move multiple times if it connects. Or I can just like toss, say this and run backwards as well, right? But if it connects, I can cancel it into another one. And I can go in any old direction. Say, I can go upwards if I'm on the ground. Or if I'm already in the air, I can go down and spike you to the ground, right? So I can bring you up or bring you back down. Because I can like say, pop you up, hit you in the air, and then pop you right back down. And at bare minimum, you can use it as a tool to run away, just like with the fireball we mentioned earlier, if you just don't want to be there. And just to mention as well, she has another form of Foxfire, down S1. She'll toss one of her orbs, and it takes a while to get where it's going, but it's a slow-moving shot, and then it'll kind of track towards the enemy. And you can freely move while that's doing its thing, right? So you can basically set up your own pressure without the need of an assist, and then just go from there. Keep in mind, though, while this is live, you cannot shoot any other form of Foxfire. So no air projectiles, ground projectiles, nothing like that. Now, we talked about the Foxfires and like it helps add to her range. She also has Stand S2, which is another move that has very far range. Like she's not long range in like buttons necessarily, but with these various specials, she does get some pretty respectable range you gotta respect. Also, S2 by itself tumbles the enemy on hit. So it's one of those deals where if they happen to be in the corner, that means you got a basically guaranteed combo follow-up. And we have Air S2, which is generally, it's another way just ease of use her combo stuff, as it'll just spike you to the ground. And she's really good at picking people off the ground because stuff like Foxfire will also pop people off the ground. So once again, using the example we just used with the drills, I can pop you up and pop you down. I can use the Foxfire to scoop you off the ground, and once again, I can cancel pretty much anything I want afterwards, so I can do another drill and just respike it. Like, she has a lot of freedom in that kind of stuff. And once again here, like high mobility, high mix-up pressure. We talked to earlier here, down heavy's like easy big cross-up, right? She also has down light, which is another potentially cross-up move. It's not like meant to be a guaranteed cross-up the same way as a down heavy, because it can kind of just be nebulous. Like it can kind of just hit either way, depending on how you aim it, right? So it's just quick and dirty that way. And also it's a light too, right? Versus a heavy, so it's fast. It's not slow. But yeah, so more ways to overhead people. Yo, down S2. So this is slow and obvious by overhead standards. Anyway, so it's 32 frames. Like you should, not always, but should be able to react to it. And she'll just automatically jump. And this, once again, is an overhead. You must block this standing. The thing that's special about this, though, you can cancel it in any old thing. So I can cancel that into an air dash, for example. So see, I can use it and then keep my offense going and then get a full combo off this overhead, right? A lot of characters with the overheads they have already, they need an assist or a gimmick or something to get like something of consequence after it. Ahri can just dash in and get a full combo. So needless to say, like, it's pretty okay, right? And once again, too, you can also just backdash out. Like, if you feel like it's getting blocked or you don't like where it's at, you can just get out of dodge. Like, if it's blocked, oh well. I'll backdash and toss a fireball to frustrate you. So, it's a slower overhead, yes, but the rewards are a good deal higher offensively if it connects or defensively is blocked, because then you can still do things in a situation where most other characters don't get much, if anything. Now, supers wise, so she's very interesting. So, like, say the base first stock super, she just tossed the fireball, whatever. But if you hold the button, then it changes up a little bit. That was pretty different, I think you would agree. So it basically gives like a boomerang effect. So if it comes back to you, well, it comes back to you, but it'll try to come back to you multiple times. If it can't come back to you on the first go, it'll keep trying to return to you. So the longer you can keep it out, like, you can use it to your benefit. And it will also work that way in the corner as well. So you notice here it doesn't naturally hit, which is unfortunate, sure. But say I was to attack him, right? Keep him in place, then it'll connect on the other way. And there's some stuff with that. You can get inventive with like extending combo routing with it. So you can use it right there to kind of abuse it. I can get 2 supers at once with Ahri. So it missed on purpose, but it'll boomerang back, and then I jumped and did her air drill super, and then it hit on the way back. So I'm getting, you know, maybe a little meter inefficient, but I'm getting more damage. This used to be incredibly broken, and all the old routes I remember don't work anymore, but you can still do it in essence, right? So she can get more meter spent than some other characters can. And we mentioned here, so the other super is the drill super. Not too much other than it's a basic strike super. It is aimable, so you can like hold up to bring the enemy up while doing it. Or if you happen to be in the air, you can aim downwards to kind of bring them downwards with you. So it's pretty basic. The other thing, level 3, it got changed. So it's a projectile now. And has an all new animation, which is beautiful. If you got any fans of Dragon Ball in the house, there's a big old final flash here for you. Otherwise, not much else to say, but hey, there you go. Now, her assists. She has very good assists. So she has kind of like the stock go forward, hit the enemy assist. The one thing, though, it will side switch with the enemy, which can be very strong at bare minimum. Keeping the enemy on the other side for mix-up potential or just general pressure. But she also has what is consistently, throughout every game it's ever been in, one of the best assists in versus game history. So her back assist, she'll just leap forward and toss down the Foxfires at like a 45-degree angle downwards. And it's a very aggressive angle. It's very far away too, as you can see. And generally, most of this will connect. And she's also up. She's like higher in the air. So sometimes if hits come her way, like she will avoid them. And generally, here's the deal. If it hits, like it's not a capture state necessarily. It won't like literally freeze you in place like Braum will, like necessarily. But if it hits, oh, it hit, cool, you're dead. Like it'll just hold you in place long enough to just really abuse it. This is absolutely one of the best assists in the game. Like this is a real reason in and of itself to pick Ahri, just to have access to its assist. It's actually that good. Like, did we talk about Braum in the last section here and he's got the shield? Yo, you can just shield, just toss this and see what happens. In fact, I used to abuse that quite a bit and they nerfed it. But it's actually amazing. It's one of the best assists in the game.
I warned you! Chase the wind. You feel this fight!
Now, so we just came off the Ahri section. We said Ahri is for, you know, classical fans of versus games, Yasuo is for the versus game sickos. You know who you are. Like, you run Virgil on every team. Like, yo, this is the guy, okay? Like, let's just call it for what it is. So let's talk Yasuo. So out of the gate, big old sword, right? He actually don't got much range on his base normals, but then again, some of his specials got a lot of range, and then again, some of his specials are modular and have all the range. So base buttons don't go that far, but Yasuo can reach out and touch you at basically any point of the screen. He's really good at two things: setting up shop and just like slowing the game down, and also being super turbo tricky. So let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about slowing the game down. So he has Wind Wall. And Wind Wall, while it's live here, it's basically no projectiles allowed. Like, okay, here, Jinx, do your worst. Ain't none of it happening. None of that's getting past the Wind Wall. So if you just want to set up a safe zone, this is the safe zone, because not much is getting past it other than physically yourself getting past it. It will stop projectiles, but like, it won't stop people just running through it and just hitting you on the other side. The thing about this though, Wind Wall, when it's live, it will change some of your base special moves. So like base S1 is the sword poke. If it's behind the Wind Wall, it just becomes a full screen knockdown poke. Done. Like, you cannot contest this because he's already immune to projectiles behind it, and this will reach you on the other end of things. Then there's S2. They'll do the quick little samurai thing and have a little wind projectile. And if you hold it, it will display at a different distance. So there's two distances for it, like one a little closer, one a little further. If one of these is to hit the Wind Wall, it just becomes a full-on gigantic tornado that eats a giant chunk of the screen that you can hide behind a little bit as well. Not that it'll come up too often, but that tornado also will act as an off-the-ground attack as well. Okay, so we have that. Like, you can slow the game down, right? Okay, now we're doing zoning wars. That is an option he has on the table. And we'll talk more about it in a moment here, but like stance gives him gigantic normals as well. So that's another thing he can do. Now, how about forward S1? So this is sweeping blade. So this is interesting in that it's a little modular. So there's the base hit, which admittedly is not too much to look at, but it's also a Rekka series. So you can do this and hit it up to 2 more times and get 2 more follow-ups. Okay, sure. Like, I can stop it there or go for all the hits. Okay, sure. Or I can do S2 and I'll do a rising uppercut and launch the opponent. So there's some stuff there. Okay, that's cool. The thing is, the move also, on top of the base move, you can hold it and change the move, and you'll hit on the other side. And here's the one annoying thing I want to impress upon you. The right person will be very excited. Everyone else is going to roll their eyes. This move here, the forward hold S1 move. All right, I'm going to block it. I know it's coming. Oh, it hits cross up. What? Yeah, I know. It hits cross up. And very annoyingly, at a very specific distances, it won't. So there's a kind of a dead zone where like it's really a bit of a mystery if it's going to connect cross up or not. And we briefly mentioned that stance. Well, briefly mentioned again, because it does cancel into stance. And if you accidentally get crossed up mid-screen, you're eating a full combo. And fun for this build of the game, it will also now steal the corner and cross you up even if you're already in the corner. So look forward to that. All right, so remember I said this character's for the sickos? Some of you sickos, I know now, you're like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm picking up here. So let's get stupider with it. So we mentioned the stance. Stance is just down S1, and you'll do cool anime samurai guy pose. Okay, can't fault them for that. And you can go into stance from just about any old thing. Most of your special moves go into stance. So like there's a lot of ways to go into stance, let alone, of course, all your normals will naturally go into stance as well, as this is a special move. So from stance, what do we got? Well, one, we got stance light, and he'll just kind of stomp the ground. And a thing to note, that stomp is indeed an OTG OK attack, and stomp is cancelable back into stance. So in a situation, say, where I throw you in the corner, it just became a full combo starter. He doesn't even need assists. And it's not like he just gets a little hit like a lot of the other characters get. He just gets a full combo in this situation. Sure, why not? Stance medium is an upwards slice. And just like the stomp, also cancelable back into stance. So for this, it's also jump cancelable. So if you are hitting whatever combo, you can just launch them off that by itself. You don't need down heavy. You still got down heavy, but you don't need down heavy. Stance heavy is a gigantic sword swing. And the thing about this one, it's a little modular too. But one, it tumbles. So if they're anywhere near the corner, that means there's definitely follow-ups because they're tumbled against the wall. And also, stance down heavy launches the sword upwards in an arc at a very long range. And a lot of your combo structure will revolve around landing that into a gigantic wall bounce. Now we got stance special 1. And he'll just do a little bit of dash. And this dash will steal sides. It will cross the enemy up. And it's intangible, so like they can't body block you or whatever. So at minimum, a good way to sandwich the opponent between you and your teammate. Stance special 2 is a short hop, King of Fighters style. So now here's all your air offense much lower to the ground than it should otherwise be. Which, frankly put, is scary because you're not necessarily ready to block a jumping overhead that fast. And once again, everything is cancelable into your stance into whatever button. So, hey, I got you in like a basic block string. I see you're blocking. Okay, sure. I can see the block and oh, okay. The pressure just keeps continuing. Like you blocked everything, but then I just canceled the blocks into stance and then into short hop and let's just keep going, right? So, offensively, thanks to stance, you can cancel pretty much everything in the stance, and stance gives them so many options that are absolutely ridiculous that you can just kind of keep the offensive train going forever. And once again, when he feels like slowing it up, okay, let's go to some full screen zoning as well. And he's able to just regular dash cancel out of it as well. So if you're being a little lazy here, say we use that block string example, I can just dash forward and throw you as well, right? So there's a lot you got to watch out for. Now for supers, he's very unique in supers. So he has like a standard cool guy samurai super. Sure, that's good, right? And nothing inherently wrong with that. It's good for damage. It's good in a lot of ways. But he has his other level 1 is his wind super. So a note about that is 1, it will scoop people up off the ground. So already useful and it launches. Okay, sure. Now we have the big dump cinematic level 3, but he doesn't need to do it. Because that level 1, if you hold the button, will automatically just burn the other 2 bars and then go directly into his level 3. So you get to choose. Now, granted, if you do the raw level 3, it does do slightly more damage. And the raw level 3 will have invincibility, unlike that level 1, right? But there's utility to it. You have this, I'm like, okay, do I need to burn the other bar or not? Okay, I'll choose. And then I have that exact option. You can think about it for a second. That's very strong. And then there's the fact as well, honestly, the regular level 3 does not hit off the ground, right? So if you want to off the ground people, then that's your only option for it. So he's just got some utility with the level 3 other characters don't get, which definitely works for him. And when it comes to assists, he's got some good assists. So for one, if we do back assist, it's the wind wall. So it gives you just basically immunity projectile. So for whatever reason you're worried if you're getting zoned out by like a Jinx or something, you can be like, nah, like I got this on demand, we're good. And also his other assist is another kind of forward moving strike assist, which is fairly common. His is a bit better though, because if it hits, it knocks the opponent up. So you can kind of just do whatever, just send him out, fact finding mission, and then like, oh, I sent him out. Oh, cool, I got the hit. Let's convert into a full combo. It's a lot easier for him to do that off a base hit than it is for some of the other characters in the game. And by the way, while this doesn't cross up, thank God, that'd be messed up, but it will leave him on the other side of the opponent most of the time, except from like very far away. So he's safe. Like he might be on screen, but the opponent's still facing you, so they're not gonna be able to tap him and take some life from him. And also, since he's safe, you can just be directly on top of the opponent whenever you want, right? So it's actually, to me anyways, one of the stronger assists in the game. Once again, Yasuo, he's a character for the fighting game sickos. And that is choose a main. So we talked about all the characters. You know, a few years from now, this roster is probably gonna like triple the size. But yeah, in this beta version of the game, I figure, you know, give you an idea what the characters look like, what they are all about. Maybe come launch this as a video I'll remake with the more final versions of the characters. We'll see. But that's it for now. If you watched to this point, please leave a like. It actually sincerely, truly, actually helps out the video a lot. And that said, you know, this is a fighting game for fighting game players. I know there's going to be a lot of y'all watching that are more from the League of Legends front, and hopefully this will demystify some of the characters. If you haven't seen it already, please check out the Companion Beginner's Guide, where I go over basically all the system mechanics and how the game works besides just the raw characters themselves. And that all said, well, that's about it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some 2XKO.